ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
It is a game day edition of Hoist the Colors. Thursday, September 25th. Pirates set to host Army in their conference opener on Thursday Night Football on ESPN 7:30 kickoff. We will preview that game as we have all week long. We'll make our weekly game picks with Bobby Harward. We'll visit with Macio O'Donald, ECU sideline reporter and former ECU receiver and running back as well. Excited for today. Pirates back at it quickly. They lose to BYU 34-13 on Saturday. It's a quick turnaround. We'll share our initial thoughts. We'll make our official picks in a couple of segments. But ECU Army, critical conference game. We've talked about it all week long, and we are just about there. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. You can catch the show replay on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. If you have a question or comment or concern, drop it in the chat if you're listening live, and we'll address that over the next hour. Philip Pilkington is producing today. He and I will host a pregame show beginning 4 o'clock right outside of Town Bank Tower. Exciting show to come. We'll have Commissioner Tim Pernetti from the American on. That'll be around 5:30, correct, Phil?
Yep.
So excited about that, and we'll ask him a number of questions. We also are scheduled to get ECU's first official injury report due to American Conference regulations at some point this afternoon. I think around 3 or 4. I can't remember the exact time. Maybe 3 hours prior to kickoff. That is announced from the American, but we'll share that when we get that. So game day's here, and it always feels weird, Philip, on a Thursday as we get ready for this thing. Any initial vibes?
This is such a great Saturday slate. Dang, am I glad we're playing on Thursday. Now,
I mean, this is a good week to have a Thursday game.
It is a perfect week to have a Thursday game. Initial vibes, look, I'm excited. I think the amount of people that show up will be less. Well, obviously less than last week, but will be less because it's a Thursday night game. But I do think there might be even a little more energy than there was last time. Yeah, it's not the night at the Boneyard game, but still a Thursday night game. I think they're letting students out of class at 3. Sports Center is going to be at Sup Dogs. Unfortunately, Sports Center was at Wake 2 weeks ago. They lost. It was at Charlotte last week. They lost. Third time's the charm. Pirates got to come out victorious. But I'm excited for this one. This is the best I've felt going into a game against the Service Academy in a long time. And you're wearing purple. You never wear purple on game day. Stephen Igo's wearing purple. Heck yeah.
This could be a good sign. Am I going to pick the Pirates? If you follow hoistthecolors.net, we've already put out our staff predictions. Spoiler alert, 3 of our 4 staff members picked the Army Black Knights to win. But hey, we're here to provide motivation. I think I've said all along that I felt good about BYU and bad about the Army game. Even if ECU would have beat Army, I would have picked, or beat BYU, I would have picked Army to win this game because of the setup of it. So hopefully I'm wrong on both occasions and ECU gets the dub tonight, but we'll pick that officially later. You know, you mentioned a good point. The Thursday games can be weird. They can also be a lot of fun, as you mentioned, like a lot of it depends on the students. And look, we're not gonna go down the path of blaming the students for the atmosphere again. We've already said our piece. You can re-listen to Monday's show for them leaving early. But I remember the 2021 South Florida Thursday night game. That felt like a pivotal point in the program. Mike Houston was trying to turn around the Pirates. They come off a tough loss on the road the week prior, I think at Houston. They host South Florida. ECU was 3-4 going into that game. It wasn't a very good USF team. It wasn't a great crowd, 32,000. It was rainy. But I remember the place being electric, man. It was like the night of the Boneyard. Everybody was into it. Not a ton of people left. ECU ended up winning 29-14. I want to say they had a pick 6 or something like that, maybe Malik Fleming. I know, 31-yard interception return by Malik Fleming in the third quarter. And it was a good game. I'm hoping we see those vibes tonight. Like, it doesn't have to be a packed house, and it can still be a great atmosphere.
Oh, 100%. I mean, look, this fan base has proven they can be rowdy and dowdy. And I think this is an opportunity to right the wrongs from last week. It's all the team righting the wrongs. Now it's time for the fan base to step up and right the wrongs. And I know it wasn't everybody. But as a joint effort, it wasn't pretty. And like I said, I don't expect in the second half rolls around, there might only be half full. because it might only be a little more than half full prior to. But let's hope not everybody's going down to Thirsty Thursday starting at 9. You can still go after the game, and please, professors, cancel class tomorrow. Let the students stay. Cancel class. I mean, let's be honest. You're there for the handshake and the piece of paper. Half this crap that we learned in college we didn't use. I know I shouldn't be saying this, but I don't care. It's true. So,
what they should really do is take a picture. If you take a selfie in the boneyard in the fourth quarter, you do not have to go to class. You get an excused absence on Friday.
And you got to see the fourth quarter thing back there. I'm with that.
Therefore, they have an exact reason to stay at the game, help the atmosphere, and they get out of class for a valid reason. Can we make that happen? Is that too short a notice? Maybe for the Thursday night game in October.
You email your students now.
Let's do it. Let's see what professors can get that done in short order. I know we've got a few communications professors that I used to learn from.
Actually, I would say that back. I did learn some stuff in my comm classes. And then I took a personal finance class. I feel like I'll use that way more than I have half the crap that they tried to teach us in college like it was important. And it wasn't.
Lane Smith in the chat, he says, game day. Army is about to FO. I don't think we can say those words on the air. He also says, do we have a guest on attendance? I would think low 30s.
Yeah.
Just based on history.
I think the reported attendance low 30s. I think the actual attendance upper 20s.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's just, and the fact you have back-to-back home games, like a lot of people went out of their way to go to BYU. They're probably not going to go out of their way to come back 5 days later, like with the tough fans.
If I had to guess, Lane Smith will be in attendance, and Lane Smith will stay till the end.
I agree on that. Lane Smith, you better be there, Lane. Tyler says, incredible opportunity to bounce back and get that bad taste out of your mouth. Usually got to wait. Robert says, feels like we're battling a wounded animal in Army. Hope their attrition rate is high on a short week. Yeah, they're pretty banged up just reading some of their stuff. Again, we'll get that injury report a little bit later. Corsair says, a suggestion for a topic next week. What about the difference between Power 4, Group of 5, and FCS teams as to how much they are paying players and how much each position gets? I mean, it's a good thought. It's just one of those things. It's hard to get those exact numbers right now. I think at the end of the season, there'll be a lot of reporting on here's what was paid revenue share in 2025, 26 for each institution, but we can try to do some homework on that. Gabriel says, I completely agree with you guys' comments on the students leaving early last game. Students want a team to play solid for all 4 quarters, but the students won't even stick around for 3-4 quarters.
Ooh, there you go.
So Gabriel Pate is trying to bring the student topic back up. Look, we'll see tonight. We issued a challenge, and let's see if they respond. And I'm hoping that they do because I don't think there will be a ton of families in attendance. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and get a break in. We got to get to Macio O'Donald. We talk with him to preview Army. We'll hit that, and then we'll get Bobby Harward in studio as well. We'll get his thoughts on the Army game, and we'll make our picks as well. Lane, by the way, quote, I will be there and I will stay for the 4th. So Lane Smith is in for the entire game. I'll hold you to that, Lane. All right, we got to get a break in. Macio O'Donald, ECU sideline reporter, on the other side.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into Hoist the Colors on a game day edition of the show. It'll be a Thursday night contest, East Carolina hosting the Army Black Knights pivotal conference game. We've got our usual Thursday guest. He's Macio O'Donald joining us via the phone this time. But Maceo, Pirates coming off a disappointing 34-13 loss to BYU. Let's start there, man. Just what were kind of your overall takeaways from that game and how it got away from the Pirates late?
Yeah, man, I just think it's slow starts have killed us. You know, it was similar to the state game where we started off slow, and unlike the state game, we kind of figured it out later, but this game, it just, you know, we couldn't find it early, and we really couldn't find it late much. Turnovers killed us, mistakes killed us. Probably would have been in the game. I think it was about a, 14-point swing between the end of the second quarter and the beginning of the third quarter. So that right there really changed the game, but we can only really blame ourselves. It's one of the worst games I think Kate's probably played since he's taken over the duties as starting quarterback.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he will bounce back, which I'll ask you about in a minute. But I do wonder, Maceo, like how much is he just feeling the pressure of trying to do too much because the running game really isn't there consistently right now? And you know, I don't know if he just is putting too much on him. So, like, obviously this offense is very RPO-based. And we saw, like, him drop the snap at times. We saw some poor snaps as well. But it just feels like he's almost pressing. Do you kind of get that sense, too, at least in a game like that?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But at the same time, like, I said it was probably his worst game I've seen from him. But it wasn't all his fault. Like, I mean, we had a bunch of pre-snap penalties from the receivers and from the offensive linemen. We had some dropped balls by Anthony Smith and Yannick. So, I mean, we had opportunities in the games where it was just certain possessions that might have put us in better positions. But, I mean, you know, I was right there for his first interception before half, right there on the goal line. And it was like a simple, you know, one of the plays that everybody runs in goal lines where it's kind of a high-low there and just like a rollout kind of a deal. And he just threw it late back to the inside trying to make a play. It is just, you know, that's where you kind of press it because it was only second down. You would have had at least one more time to go for it. So, I mean, situations like that would make me say yes, but at the same time, last week wasn't entirely just, you know, on his shoulder.
How do you think he responds? Because I do feel like, look, the best quarterbacks in the world have games where they just make bad decisions. Like, there's a lot on their plate. Sometimes you just throw interceptions. That's part of it. So, like, for me, we've seen Caton be really good for a long time. You know, he took ownership after the game. I am curious, like, does he come out on fire this next game? Is he tentative? I mean, how important is that to see kind of how he responds against another pretty good defense?
Yeah, luckily Caton is a veteran, so it's not like he's a a freshman, this guy that's just trying to deal with the ups and downs of college football and going from a win to a loss to a win to a loss. You know, he knows how to be in that situation. He's in our starting position before where he's relying on a big win. So I have full confidence that he'll back. Obviously this week is going to be a tough opponent. So we're favored, which might be the first time we've been favored against the next year Army team, maybe in a year or two, at least a couple years. So I think Kate is going to be fully prepared to go. And, you know, there's still bright spots with the offense. It wasn't like we were just completely getting shut down. I feel like a lot of it was just, you know, us making mistakes. Pirates beat Pirates.
No doubt about it. Macio O'Donald with us, former ECU receiver, sideline reporter for the network as well. And Maceo, have you ever seen a game with 7 false starts for the home team and 4 by the receivers? What in the world?
Yeah, I'm sure I have. I mean, it's been so much football played, and sometimes you forget it. And you might forget some of the bigger moments of the game. You know, it's easy to look back just like last week and be like, well, we turned the ball over twice right before half, or we dropped the ball there, or we did this. You know, but some of those little plays are really the ones that kind of kill you over time. I'm not sure how many yards we accumulated in penalty yards, but I'm sure it was a lot. And you just look at those, the teams that usually have more mistakes, they lose the game.
No doubt about it. ECU will take on Army this Thursday. We'll get to that in a minute. But how about the defense? You know, I asked Kevin Monroe on Wednesday, Maceo, like, how would you grade the defense through 4 games? Because going into the year, we thought the offense would click, the defense would have issues. Yeah, I gave it, I think, an A- or an A on Tuesday's show or Monday's show. I can't remember what day I graded it. Kevin gave it an A. How would you grade this defense to the non-conference portion of the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's been probably at least a B, a solid B. And I think our run stopping has probably been the best part of our defense. And you've only really seen us vulnerable in the pass game, in my opinion. I know the stats probably don't show it for this past week, and even against NC State, we were kind of a bend don't break defense against NC State, and we kind of stopped them later in the game. And then against BYU, we were stopping them early, and then they kind of leaned on us after we kept giving them the ball and kept giving them the ball. No defense can survive that, so they kind of leaned on us with their size. Coach Harrell said the same thing after the game. You know, in that second half, they just kind of put that size and strength and just those resources and depth on us in the second half. But I think that has been our strong suit. I think this past week we kind of have shown where we're vulnerable in the passing game. So that's the only reason why I would give it a B. I honestly couldn't be more proud and really surprised of how good they've been this year just in the defense. The secondary, we've seen to kind of let the guys get open, at least this past week against BYU.
All right, Army on Thursday. Did you ever have to run, or did you have to work scout team for the option? And what do you just remember about the preparation for the option? Obviously, you were on the offensive side when you were playing on offense. Just take us through the preparation, especially on a short week like this. How hard is it?
Yeah, I did one Navy scout team. We never played Army when I was there, but Coach Houston's first year, I did scout team for Navy. I want to say that year we opened up with them in conference play, so similar to like this Army game. It was an away game, the first conference game, I want to say of that year, first and second, and I was on scout team. And I can say that was my last scout team week of doing anything, because after that week I was like, I have to get out of this scout team stuff because it was terrible. That was like the one week of the year that they really let you hit the scout team guys to the ground. You're doing the same things over and over again. And the sucky thing about it is that, especially those weeks when you do good on scout teams, they don't want anybody else to do it. So I was playing the running back, playing receiver, doing whatever, just getting them a good look. But you really do need that when you're playing a team that has so many bells and whistles to their offensive schemes. Don't know where the ball is coming from. And even now, today, with these two teams, both Navy and Army, they throw it a little bit more than they traditionally do. So it's just so many things you have to pay attention to, so many cues. You heard Sam Donka say, this week you have to watch the film over and over and over again to kind of know what you're supposed to do. But no, I do remember that was one of the hardest weeks ever doing scout team. It's not fun, especially how the attention to detail the coaches are paying attention to that, because one play, one wrong eyes, they can gas you for a big one.
And obviously it's kind of magnified with the short week. I don't know, Does it offset at all with ECU being able to stay at home, Army, having to travel? I mean, does that play the ECU's favor, or is it kind of even with, typically a triple option team, even a week isn't enough to prepare, let alone 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, well, it's more so just the mental reps of it. Obviously, you got to go there and do it, and they're going to be a physical, hard-nosed football team. So obviously, you would want a full week. Any week you get to play a team like that, but more so for them, they're going to go out there and compete. Once the lights go on tomorrow or tonight, and once everybody does what they're supposed to do, just prepare for the game. It's more just X's and O's. Everybody's going to come and compete and play hard, but these guys just have to know their cues, because these guys will put window dressing on just about every single play, try to confuse you as much as possible, and the next thing you know, someone's down the field who you didn't even realize that was football.
Macio O'Donald with us, ECU sideline reporter, and I've kind of said this is a key swing game to ECU's season. I don't think the season is over if the Pirates lose it, but certainly the outlook changes. I think if you win this game, you can go into the bye thinking we can still realistically make a shot at a conference championship. You would have Tulane coming out of the bye. You would have Memphis at home the second half of the year. If you lose this game, you're behind the 8 ball. Obviously, going into the bye leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Just how pivotal is this game to find a way to win no matter how it looks?
Yeah. I think we're still in a pretty good position, and I think we should have a pretty good feeling about where we're headed. I think, just seeing the stadium this past Saturday night, I think everybody's kind of was expecting, what the crowd showed. I mean, that crowd was packed. The fans were loud. People had so much expectations about what this season could be like, especially after those 2 very dominant wins. And I think a few plays from this past week, maybe we are sitting here at 3-1 instead of 2-2. I'm heading into conference play, but this is very a beatable team. Again, like I said earlier, we're favored in the game, which I think might be a first, at least in a few years, at least in maybe one of the 2021 or 2022 seasons that we're favored against an Army or a Navy. So, it's still a long way to go in conference play, and at least maybe Cincinnati was, in their heyday in the conference, or UCF. This conference has been, kind of here or there. Like, teams have had their chance to maybe take the conference crown. So, I think ECU still can see that. It should still vie for that this season.
All right, a few more things from Maceo. We'll get him out of here. All right, so if ECU wins the coin toss in a game like this, should they receive or defer? Because I have mixed feelings on it against an option team. You want to get out ahead, but you also don't want to. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, them jump on you, and get a chance to double up at halftime. So I guess it comes down to how the coaches feel. But how would Macio O'Donald play it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an offensive guy, so I'm going to win the ball first and going to want to go make a statement on offense. But, even you can look at it many different ways, the ways you said, but also if you do give them the ball first, yeah, you'll get the ball started in the second half, but they can hold the ball for like 5 or 6 minutes, and your team is sitting over there after they're all hyped up and ready to play, locked in. They're just sitting and waiting to go in. So, I think it depends on how you look at it. I would always say I want the ball first. I kind of always want to make a statement, but it may be one of those games where it's going to be 4 possessions in a game like Army, then I would maybe say defer to the second half, but it's probably just preference. I think we've taken the ball a lot to start the game this season, haven't we?
Yes, yeah, ECU, they deferred in the opener, I believe, but then they have received the last 2 times they won the toss. BYU won the toss and deferred in the most recent game. So we'll see how Blake, if they win the toss, plays it. I would expect Army to defer either way. So NFL, real quick, Maceo. A couple of the worst teams in the league, a couple of winless teams finally got their first wins, the Chiefs and the Panthers. I guess I can't really talk much crap because the Broncos don't know how to win a fourth quarter game. But your Chiefs finally got one, although Russell Wilson kind of gave it to them at times.
Yeah, was that a shot at me and Philip was there?
It was.
I think it was. All of our teams are 1-2 right now. I just want to throw that out.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's fun. It's a long season, man. Like any NFL season, it's long. And as a team supporter, I could just look back to the two seasons ago when we were dropping all those balls, leading the league in drops, and we didn't have home field advantage going into the playoffs, and everybody thought we were going to suck not playing at Arrowhead, and it turned out pretty good for us. So it's a long year, and you've seen a lot of change in the league as well. But you're talking about New York. I'm excited to see Jackson Dart see what he's got to do, but he's going to have a tough matchup this week.
Ravens Chiefs this Sunday. 2 teams are 1-2. And again, like, it's so early that I'm not going to call it a must-win, but it may have some high stakes to it because I don't think either of those teams wants to get to 1-3. So what's kind of your hopes there?
Right. I mean, you would hate to say it's a must-win this early, but both of these teams and where they're trying to go and just expectation-wise, like, it might be a must-win. I mean, who would have said a month ago that the Baltimore Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs might be 1-3 or, you know, a month and a half or 5 weeks into the season, whatever it is. Like, that would have been, like, everybody probably would have voted no. So I think it probably is a must-win for those guys. I know the Ravens have had a hard time beating the Chiefs, but I think the Ravens team is probably still better, even though they've shown, you know, they can be had on the defensive side. So I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough one to play, but at least KC is at home.
He is Macio O'Donald. Check out his work online with the Carteret County News-Times as well. You got any good columns coming this week, Maceo?
Hopefully, it depends on how the boys play in the game, man. I'm this season I'm doing all basically recaps of ECU's football games, so just wait until after the game. Probably going to write that overnight or the next morning. So if they come to play, then we'll have something good to write. But I still have pretty good vibes about the guys, and you know they have a really good shot to do something this season.
All right, there's Macio O'Donnell. Great stuff as always from the ECU Star Reporter. Appreciate it, Maceo.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
That's Macio O'Donnell. We visit with him each and every week throughout the football season. Looking forward to Thursday night. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll make some game picks on the other side. We'll pick ECU, Army, and a whole lot more. This is Hoist the Colors.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Hoist the sail!
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Ahoy, me hearties!
Back to Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a game day Thursday. We just talked with Macio O'Donald. We've now got our usual Friday guest in studio, Bobby Harward, and he's going to be back tomorrow as well for the recap show. Bobby, welcome in.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's a little weird. I know I've done the Thursday show before. I don't think I've been in studio for a Thursday show, so this is first timer here.
Rarefied air. The back-to-back Bobby appearances. By the way, before we get to our picks and some more of your comments, the ECU basketball conference schedule has dropped. I'm not going to run through every game, but you guys can go to hoistthecolors.net or ecpirates.com to check it out. Of course, they would do it on an ECU football game day, but either way, the Pirates will open at home on New Year's Eve against Tulane. I think for the first time in years, they'll start their conference play at home. So that'll be on December 31st. You guys can check out the full schedule to get Memphis at home as well on March 1st and Wichita State on February 18th, Charlotte on January 18th. And Philip is really thrilled about the back-to-back Sunday starts in January against UAB and Charlotte.
Right in the middle of the NFL playoffs. In a conference that 95% of the teams are in NFL markets. You got teams in Philadelphia, Houston, Miami metro area, New Orleans, and all of our games are on Sundays. Tampa, yeah. See, I can't even remember them all. Memphis, which is not that close to Nashville, so that was a stupid point. But you get the point.
All right, a lot of comments in the chat about things that need to happen tonight. We'll get to some of that. Corsair wants Coach Harrell to have a chat with the referees about Army's offensive line holding, chop blocks, and other things. I'm sure he will do that, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. They're the third least penalized team in the country. Bobby, your thoughts on this game? You've broken down the film before we pick it. So what are you feeling heading into tonight?
Yeah, I think y'all said it first segment, or Philip did. I agree with him. This is the best I've felt going into a Service Academy game. That's a little weird, being that it's a Thursday night game, short week, not a lot of time to prepare. But, going back to 2019, every year we've played a Service Academy. This staff has seen it. These players have seen it, at least the ones that have been are retained in the program. And then just from a coaching staff perspective, I mean, y'all talked about it earlier in the week, but defense has not been the issue these last few games or last few years against these service academies. It's offense. And Navy did the same thing to us back in the rough years, and I remember breaking those films down. On defense, they keep it basic. They keep it very basic in terms of their coverages. They play soft zone. They don't do anything exotic with their fronts. They blitz minimally, but they blitz. And they want you to dink and dunk and make plays. And really that's playing to their style of football. They want to control the clock. They want to control possession. And that their lone win this year against Kansas State, of the 30-minute second half, the Black Knights controlled it for 27 of those 30 minutes, which is insane.
Crazy. And you just can't make the mistakes to turn the ball over against them to allow them to do it. They had a fumble. They had a kick return touchdown and then a fumble and a kick return. Kansas State did. So it was kind of crazy. But here's my thing, and we'll kind of tie this in with our game picks so we can start on those. All right, Army is a 4-point dog at ECU as of this morning. I'm going to pick Army because I think ECU could win the game by a field goal. I think ECU can win the game by multiple touchdowns if the offense plays to its potential. But here's my problem with believing they can do that. As you mentioned, Army, like their style of play defensively is to basically make you have to make the play again and again and again and not screw it up. And what has ECU's offense been doing? Screwing it up. So, I got to see them go out and do it and execute runs, execute the short passing game, not false start, not hold. So I need to see that. If they do that, and then maybe you can get Army kind of out of their game plan a little bit, maybe they start feeling the need to send some pressure, then you can hit some big ones too and some explosive plays because they don't have the corners to cover ECU's receivers. But, man, I got to see ECU go out and do that to win this game by more than 4 points. So I'm taking Army.
I want to know what in the Sam Hill is going on at Hoist the Colors over there. Cause
we're just providing the bulletin board material.
Good gosh. I was shocked seeing three of y'all go the Black Knights.
I think part of it is the Service Academy thing, too. I just got to see it to believe it, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that makes sense. Your explanation makes sense. So my second thing, talking about the penalties, walking over to the pregame show on Saturday, Little Nugget came over with me, and he was mentioning how bad we've been at penalties procedurally going into that game. And I meant to bring it up in the pregame show, and I forgot to. And lo and behold, how did that play out?
7 false starts.
That's unbelievable. And that has to be corrected, and I'm willing to bet that point was driven home this week.
Just a quick, sorry to cut you off, just a quick stat. ECU, the 7 false starts they were whistled for in that game alone is 1 less penalty than Army has had the entire season. They have 8 penalties as a team.
Insane.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. To my game pick, I feel good about tonight. I just don't. Not only is Army gone back, I've mentioned this before, that offense functions really well when that quarterback is really, really good. And right now they've been back and forth at the quarterback position, and we still haven't gotten clarification yet if Coleman's good to go tonight or not. He would be the one, if healthy, that I'd expect to start based upon how he led that comeback against North Texas. That being said, I think it's going to be another low-scoring game. I don't think we're going to light up the scoreboard by any means. I think we're going to do what we need to on defense, and I think we backdoor cover and cover the spread.
I think we beat them at their own game. I think we ran the ball. No, not that. We ran the ball, get rid of sacks, 4.2 yards carry last week against BYU's defense. We're talking about Army's defense. I think we are going to run it down their throat. I think we finally see a couple breakout long runs. I think that Parker Jenkins has one. I think that London Montgomery has one. Long touchdown runs. Give me the Pirates.
I'll say this. North Texas is not known for running the football, and they were able to kind of blow Army off the ball. So, if ECU can't run the football in this game, we got major issues unless they just come out.
We can reevaluate tomorrow.
Yeah, unless they just have a completely different defensive approach than what we're all expecting, which, as we talked about, is kind of hard on a short week. Yeah. So Conan is in the chat. He says ECU 43, Army 17. Jack Dover says, is Coastal defense not similar to Army's? I thought Coastal's defense is pretty good. It is similar in the fact they drop a lot of coverage. I would say Coastal's got better athletes, probably not as fundamentally sound. Some differences there. And the other thing with the issue of that game is ECU struggled to finish in the red zone. That's my other concern. I think ECU will move the ball. Army has forced field goals in 6 of 14 red zone trips, which is a 43% rate. So, they're fine letting you drive the field. ECU's got to execute in the red zone.
They do.
And that's by running the ball mainly.
But if you break out a 60-yard run and score, you don't have to execute in the red zone.
I would love to see it.
And I think, too, going back to starting slow, that's what shocked me. I know, and I think the players are kind of stunned, too. And they kind of showed it against BYU and definitely against NC State. But, normally during the Donnie Kirkpatrick era, those first 15 plays were pretty flawless. Those are what you scout and work on all week, and that's what you're ready to go and attack from the get-go and then get yourself into rhythm. And they just have not done that. So hopefully that gets corrected this week, and we need a fast start.
Well, if they don't, they need to just go back to the way they played against North Texas last year and learn how to play from behind again. I mean, they can do it. They've proven they can do it. Now, tonight against Army, different story, but...
Yeah, let's not fall behind 21-0.
No.
Quick final thing on this. We've had this debate. I'll ask you, Bobby. Would you receive? Let's say you win the toss. Would you receive or defer tonight?
The way our offense has been starting games, I'm deferring. I'm trusting our defense to go out and stall. I actually have another question for y'all because I'm curious about this. So Navy last year, their players run out of the tunnel and get booed by a friend in our section, and our friend gets called classless by a fan. What is y'all's feelings on booing a military academy as they run out?
This is one of our pregame show segments.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, sorry to spoil
well,
it.
We can give it a...
We'll give a little...
I think, look, at the end of the day, it's a football game. They're the opposing team. I have no problem with it. As long as you're not just sitting there cussing them out.
Well, here's the thing. Those service academies cuss and talk as much trash in game as any opponent.
They play dirty at times as well. So, it's a football game. They're on the other side. You're trying to beat them. You're the fans. You're pulling against them.
I say during the game, I'm okay with it. They score or whatever. But pregame, when they're just being introduced as a university, unless you were another service academy, I'm going, no, don't pull.
So when they were running out of the tunnel,
when they run out of the tunnel, just kind of turn and look the other way.
And
once kick off, once they kick off and they make a good play, then you're booing the football team.
Look, I love the military. have great respect for them, but I want ECU to stop doing Military Appreciation Day when they play ECU.
That's another pregame segment.
Anyway,
I promised you we would talk about this. You've been wanting to talk about this all year. We got to get to our next
let's
pick.
make our picks. All right, Florida State, 7-point favorite at Virginia. This is a Friday night game. Possible look-ahead spot here for Florida State. I think Miami is on the docket next week. What you got, Bob?
Virginia's much improved this year. They're scoring points offensively. They're not at the level of the Seminoles yet. Give me Florida State.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I just UVA has not impressed me. I'm going FSU.
Thought you were about to say
I know
something else. Florida State, I think, is just too good. Virginia did not look good defensively against NC State. I think this is a higher scoring game. Actually, I'm on Florida State to cover and team total over 33.5. Give me the Noles. USC is going to Illinois. USC is a 6.5-point favorite. And I think this is a market correction game. I like the Illini here. I do know that Illinois, their secondary is very beat up. But what is this game starting? This is a noon start. What is that, 9? This is 9 a.m. Pacific time. This feels like a classic. Everybody overreacts to Illinois getting crushed, and they're on the USC hype train. They may win it, but I'm taking Illinois to cover.
Give me the Trojans. Give me Lincoln Riley. Give me Ryan Doherty.
Your
ECU
boys.
punter. My guys. I'm curious if the Big Ten figures the coast-to-coast travel out. USC's already won at Purdue, but I think Illinois is a flaw.
They haven't done it at 9 a.m., and Illinois bounces back after playing the worst game of the decade.
We'll see, guys.
Hey, you got to rob your boys.
Yeah, you're in last
respect
place, so yeah, we will see.
LSU is at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 1.5-point favorite, and they're still rolling with Trinidad, right? So I can't even think of whatever his last name is, the backup quarterback. LSU. I'm not going to overthink this. I think LSU is the best team Ole Miss has seen thus far. They're the only team that can really play defense and slow them down. I think they turn this into a different style game. I think LSU wins a close one.
I was back and forth on this one a little bit, but I'm going the Rebels. Give me the home team. I don't know if LSU can score to keep up with the Rebels.
Yeah, that's fair enough, but I am going to go with the more experienced quarterback in this one and take the Tigers.
We'll see, guys. We'll see.
Alabama is at Georgia. Georgia's a 3-point favorite at home. Alabama has looked really good since the just catastrophe of a game at Florida State, but they have not played anybody that's really that good. And so for me, again, Bulldogs at home, getting 3 points. I'm laying that. Give me the Dogs.
Yeah, I'm not betting against the Dogs and between the hedges. Georgia gets it done.
Dogs.
Big game, James Franklin. Can he do it? Oregon is at Penn State. Penn State is a 3.5-point favorite. It's a whiteout. And I'll be honest, neither of these teams have really had to show a lot through the early part of the season. Philip, you started off here, man. I know you feel strongly about James Franklin.
I do. Zach Gafflin was trying to convince me last night that his Nittany Lions are going to win. Come on, Zach. You know better than that. Our Red Sox might win, but your Penn State Nittany Lions will not. Give me Oregon.
I think this is close. Give me the Ducks, though. Ducks cover. It's going to end up being a 10 to 14-point game.
I'm going to do it, guys. I'm going to pick James Franklin to win a top 10 game. Look, Drew Aller scares me because his stat line in these games are horrific. But I think Penn State does enough to slow down Oregon's offense, and the Penn State running game gets going. They've got some dogs in the backfield. I think they're going to run it on Oregon. Give me the Nittany Lions to win and cover the 3.5. I don't even love them covering 3.5.
I know what's going to happen. Just because you said that, they're going to finally win the game, like you said. They're going to win on a game-winning field goal, 30 to 27.
I hate it,
Philip. I'm calling it now. We're going to receive a text message about 10:30, 11:15 or so at night from Stephen Igo in Denver, Colorado, at a bar, saying, "Why the heck did I pick the Nittany Lions?"
This is 100% happening. But give me Penn State, baby. I'm part of the whiteout. Let's go.
Luck.
And that's our college picks. Gosh, that's a dumb pick. But you know what? I made some dumb picks a few weeks ago. It ended up turning out all right. So I'm going to take the Nittany Lions. There's our college picks. Bobby and Philip feel good about ECU covering the 4 versus Army. I am on the Black Knights. Hopefully I'm wrong once again for a second consecutive week. All right, we'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll do NFL picks on the other side. This is Hoist the Colors.
It's time to soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota. Summer is here with hot deals on a great selection of new Toyotas, like a Corolla, $189 a month, or Tacoma, $279 a month. Soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville, we've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
My hair is definitely a reflection of who I am. Wild, fun, fiery for sure.
It just goes with the flow.
Me and my hair, both untamable.
I wear it how I feel.
Feel fearless.
Feel empowered. Look fantastic.
Look fantastic.
Look fantastic. Feel unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
The sun is out, and so are the deals at Greenville Toyota. Soak up the savings on a hot selection of new Toyotas, like a Camry, $229 a month, or RAV4, $289 a month. Soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota.
Like all pirates, Stephen Igo is loyal and bold. He may also have a touch of scurvy. Back to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Final segment. We got to make some NFL picks. A quick comment from Joel. He says, hasn't Blake Harrell won every game we've been favored in with him as head coach? The answer is almost, but no, because ECU was a 3-point favorite against Navy last year. They lost 34-20. So that was a weird week. He got announced as head coach on like Wednesday, and the game was Friday. So we'll see if the Pirates can get it done again with the favorite tonight, as they are a 4-point favorite against Army. All right, NFL picks, guys. Bobby Harward in studio for game day. Philip Pilkington producing. We'll be back tomorrow. By the way, we are going to record early tomorrow at 10:30. I've got a flight to Denver in the afternoon, so we're going to go 10:30 to 11:30 for our live stream. If you want to join us, it'll still be on radio at 94.3 The Game at 12 noon, but the live stream will be 10:30 to 11:30 if you want to participate. I'll try to send a reminder in the morning as well. All right, Eagles at Bucks. Eagles are a 3.5-point favorite. These are two unbeaten teams, right?
They are, yep.
3.5 at the Bucks. I'm torn on this one.
I got a stat for you that may sway you. The Bucks 3 wins. They've won by a combined total of 6 points. Their opponents' records are 1-8 combined. So they've played some bad. They played 2 0-3 teams and a 1-2 Falcons team. I'm going to Eagles.
Lost the Panthers by 30.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles.
Give me the Bucks. I think they get Chris Godwin back this week. I'm just feeling Baker Mayfield right now, man. And the Eagles haven't looked that great either.
They haven't, but they just beat the Rams, who I think are much better. But yeah, we'll see.
I think Philly wins. I think Tampa covers. I think it's going to be like a game-winning field goal by the Eagles.
All right, so my stat did not sway y'all.
Hey, keep bringing them, though.
We'll see. We'll see, guys.
We'll see. The Panthers are 5.5-point dogs at the Patriots.
Stupid. Patriots are dog water.
The Patriots are bad, and this feels like a sucker bet because it feels too easy. Give me the Panthers, but something feels off here.
I'm with the Panthers as well. I don't know they'd necessarily win, but it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, the only way the Panthers do not cover is if they lose by 6 in overtime or something. When regulation ends, they will be within 5 points.
I feel like they could lose this game like 16-10 or something.
Could.
But I feel like that's too many points between two pretty bad teams, honestly. Commanders are at the Falcons. The Commanders, a 1.5-point favorite. What's Jaden Daniels' status?
Man, guys, I'm a little worried about this. Jaden Daniels, questionable. He practiced yesterday. He wants to go. It's just the doctor's got to clear him. Terry McLaurin's not looking like he's going to play. Our number 2 receiver, Noah Brown, has been out. Obviously, we're missing Austin Eckler. Our starting right guard started the year on the IR. It's been brutal with injuries.
Just beat up, man.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm going to go Falcons contingent that Jaden Daniels does not play. If Jaden Daniels plays, I'm flipping it to the Manders. But I feel like the Falcons were so bad last week, they're going to bounce back. That's how the NFL works. Falcons.
I kind of think you're right. But if Jaden Daniels doesn't play, it's a Marcus Mariota revenge game.
Can it even be that? I guess it can.
He got his revenge last week on the Raiders, and they look pretty good. I just think Commanders are too good.
They're a better team.
Yeah, so give me the Manders. Left hand up.
Atlanta bounces back after being embarrassed. Raheem Morris lights a fire under their rear and give me Atlanta, regardless of who starts.
Y'all keep an eye on that one for me just because I may be in the mountains Sunday. So if Jaden Daniels does play, put me on the Commanders.
Okay.
Ravens at Chiefs. Ravens are a 2.5-point favorite. Both teams are 1-2. This feels like a desperation game. I think the Ravens are just better. I'm going to go Baltimore on the road.
I have the same reasoning. Baltimore.
Yeah, they've played better. They've looked better. They are better. Give me Baltimore.
The Bengals are at the Broncos. When I bought these tickets, Joe Burrow, was excited to see him play in Mile High. The Broncos were getting hype. Now I get Jake Browning, get the 1-2 Broncos who can't win a game in the fourth quarter. The Broncos are 7.5-point favorites. The one thing they can do is they can win against bad teams by multiple scores. That's a lot of points. But I think Denver comes out. They're wearing the Midnight Navy uniforms with the white helmet. I think they light it up. Bo Nix bounces back. Broncos win by 10.
You're going to be coming back from Mile High, riding high. I'm with you. The Broncos get it done.
Yeah, I think this thing's ugly from the start. Denver.
There's our picks. Well done in a timely manner, gentlemen.
Yeah, we had to kind of squeeze those in.
Which, by the way, did y'all even know I didn't realize this when I bought the tickets. There's another Monday night doubleheader, and it's like the worst.
Yes, it's Miami and Jets. God, gosh.
And they're not even, they're overlapping. Like, I'm fine with a doubleheader if you have a 6 and a 9, but like a 7 and an 8 start.
Yeah, they started doing this last year. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's bad, but it's better than a game ending at close to 2 a.m.
True.
Also, there's a London game or Germany or Ireland or there's a Europe game.
Yeah.
Ireland, that's the country.
This weekend?
Yeah.
Who's playing?
Pittsburgh and the Vikings.
It's not a terrible game, but it's not great either. Kenny Curlin says his Cowboys bounce back and only lose by 17. I almost put that one on the lineup. Was that Packers-Cowboys?
I'm tempted. I'm not going to pick the Cowboys, but I'm tempted to.
That was bad last week.
Yeah, they've got to do something. I mean, they're not a good football team, but they're not a bad football team either.
They feel very much like a 9-8, 8-9 team right now.
Yeah, I took their over 8.5 for the year, so
you're gonna be right there.
9-8. Come on, Cowboys.
Speaking of total, Tulsa we haven't really talked about on the show.
I know.
We
Got Mike Gundy fired.
Philip and I got the 2.5.
I'm telling you.
They beat Oklahoma State, and we need one more win to cash in, thanks to our boy Larry Lewis. So keep an eye on that one as they go into conference play. Bobby, you going to be in Dowdy Fickle tonight? You going to be watching on TV?
You know, I got to give my wife a shout-out. Not only am I going to the game, from 4 o'clock on, she is taking the kids, so I will be
Brittany. Well done, Brittany.
Gosh, she is incredible. And so, yeah, I'll be able to tailgate, kid-free, go to the game, the whole bit, and really excited for tonight.
So you coming by the pregame show again?
I can, if you want me to, yeah. And
if you want to meet Commissioner Pernetti, 5:30.
5:30. I'll give him some of my 2 cents on how the conference should operate.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He would probably take it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah,
he really would. He's not arrogant at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who listens, and he's not afraid to speak his opinion either, so I think he enjoys hearing from other people. So we'll have him on it. And last week we had a guest on like every segment.
Yeah,
it felt like it.
We were just rolling, keeping it rolling. So we'll see, man.
I'll also be taking the kids to the Sports Center deal at Sup Dogs.
That's right.
So I'll be doing that at 2 o'clock.
See you out there, Bob.
All right. Let's
go. Going for lunch now.
Y'all provide the report then on the pregame show. I'll be watching on TV, getting some pregame stuff done. So looking forward to it. All right. We're out of time. Hope everybody enjoys the tailgating, the game. Hopefully the Pirates prove me wrong, get a W tonight, prove these guys right. I will gladly take the loss on the betting sheet if it happens. So that'll be a 7:30 kickoff. Again, our pregame coverage will start 4 o'clock. We'll be out at Town Bank Tower. Come out and say hey. That'll carry up till 6:30, an hour before the game when we turn over to the network. Thanks to Bobby. Thanks to Philip. You guys enjoy the game.